Man, I might have to make this my new Thursday spot. It's a pretty nice place. It's just so nice, and it's a nice change of scenery. Anyway, hello. Welcome to Thursday, 28th of April. So, today has kind of been package central over here because I've gotten now 2 packages today, and I think it's time to take a look inside of it. Admittedly, though, the one thing I have not yet gotten is my headphones, because I did order headphones at one point, and well, LaserShip must have fucked that one up because they're still not here, and they have not responded to my emails. So I have no idea what they're doing. Ultimately, is what I'm trying to say here. That's not a package, though. So we'll just go through these things one by one. Now, this is, as if I show the right side of the box, a Cherry MX switch tester. So WASD sells these. They made my keyboard, but they have these here now too, because there's a couple people around, both have been on the vlog before, Liz and Sorka, that are looking into getting mechanical keyboards. And for those of you who don't know, most mechanical keyboards use these Cherry MX switches. And there is multiple types of Cherry MX switches that are based on different feels and sounds. So it's kind of useful to get these little test kits, which are $15 by the way, so that you can feel the different kinds of switches, because they all feel and sound a little bit different. So it's kind of nice to be able to get some and play around with them. Now, you can actually wire these up too if you wanted to make like a little keyboard dongle, but there are several different types of mechanical keyboard switches, because as you can see, each of these have a different color, and these are the same colors that they're branded for. So there's 3 main types of mechanical keys and a heavier version of that key. So you have your blues, which are these linear keys, these clacky ones, and this is what I use right now. So, and these 4 are kind of the original 4, back when I got mine 4 or 5 years ago. These 2 did not exist yet. So these are loud and clicky, and they have this little reset point there where they're not completely bottomed out. Like you see, I'm still moving the key around, the switch is still moving, and that's completely bottomed out, and then it comes back up. So you can type like that. Now these browns are, well, I'll come back to the browns actually, because then there's blacks, which are, see, there's like no click. They have a reset point somewhere in there, but like, so they're very, very quiet because they don't have that switch. But they're quiet. They have a little, they're very linear is what they're called. These are called linear switches. These are called clicky tactile switches. And then the browns are kind of an in-between tie. Like they have a little like you can feel when it clicks, but it does not make a loud clicking noise like the blues do. And I got this backwards actually. The reds are the lighter versions of the blacks. So these 2 correspond. There's reds and then there's blacks, which are the same thing, but the blacks take a little bit more force to press. Then these clear switches over here are the browns that take more force to press. And the same thing now for the greens with the blues. They're heavier versions of the blue keys that I use right now. And the green ones, are kind of what I would be interested in if I were to buy today, because they're more designed to mirror what a keyboard would have been like when they made the original mechanical keyboard several years ago. By which I mean several decades ago. So it's kind of cool to play around with. They also do include these O-rings, which are sound dampeners, generally included with, well, potentially included with blues or greens. And WASD, because they have complete control, basically, you can pay to have them installed. I don't like them. I feel like they ruin the feel of the keys, and plus I love loud keys, as anybody who's been on Skype with me knows. Alright, well that was a long-winded explanation. Let's move on to something else. That's another long-winded explanation. I'll save that for later. Jumbo crayons. Why are we getting these? Well, you'll see in a few days for Robert Kopp. A lot of this stuff is Robert Kopp production design. This is a light switch that we're going to hang from the ceiling, or not a light switch, a light socket that we're going to hang from the ceiling. This is gaffer tape. And for those of you who don't know, gaff tape is, or just generally abbreviated to gaff, is a type of tape we generally use in film. It's similar to duct tape, except it's A, not shiny, and B, more fabric-y, which is nice because, well, actually the biggest selling point of gaff tape is that it doesn't cling as hard. It's slightly weaker than duct tape, but On the contrary to that, it leaves absolutely no residue behind, which is why it's so nice for film. In here, I'm not going to bother to lift it up. We've got a bunch of really, really bright colored printer paper that we're going to be using for some set design. And last but not least, this box right here, this is daylight bulbs. Another thing I have to explain. So, as you can see, these are LEDs, so they're the equivalent of 60 watt replacements. They use 9. And then if you'll notice here, they have a marker that's 5,000 kelvins. And if you're wondering, well, what does that actually mean? This can kind of help this nutrition facts thing. This is pretty genius. So, you see here how you have this light appearance between warm and cool. That's because all lights kind of have this this color temperature to them, if you will, that's somewhere between very red and very blue, warm and cool, respectively. So this is measured in kelvins. You know, that same thing that you used in science class however many years ago high school was for you. So this is daylight around 5,000 kelvins, which is actually a little bit low. Daylight is closer to 55 to 56. This might be closer to around 52 or 53 because it's very overcast today, which is by the way is actually where we want to be for Saturday. Want to kind of be this, except for this is looking like it might turn to rain eventually. So that's not going to be the best thing ever. But anyway, regular household bulbs are somewhere around here, and the studio lights that we generally use are around 2,700 degrees Kelvin, or kelvins. Kelvins are not represented in degrees, that's why there's a degree symbol. But so I have these because if we need to use them, if we need to change bulbs, we'll need to, because we might need to match the daylight a little bit. But the nice thing about these is that after we're done filming, I can actually put these up in my room, and it'll make the vlog a little bit easier to do, because normally what happens is that this camera is very tuned to daylight. If I'm shooting in daylight-based light, I can just kind of start it and run. But in my room, when I shoot those late at night segments, I generally have to turn it on and then go do something for like a minute while it's like, okay, this is very red, let me adjust myself, because I don't have a way to actually slide the slider that way to be like, okay, white points that way. Which normal cameras can do. You just point it at a piece of something white and be like, okay, this is white. And it'll be like, okay, that's white. Which is, well, when we shoot this weekend, we'll be able to do that. But if I can actually switch all the bulbs in my room to daylight bulbs, then we don't have that problem anymore. Another thing that kind of helps with that is there's something called CTB, which stands for color temperature blue, which are these little gels that you might have seen on the vlogs before, probably back when we did the intermediate cinematography thing, or its cousin CTO, color temperature orange, that change. CTB is change the red lights, like the 2700 to around 5300 kelvins, and CTO does the opposite of that, changes daylight sources to film. And that just means that you want to have a color balance, essentially, so that when you're shooting things, you're shooting everything in the same color of light, so that you don't have anything looking odd. Because that's why, if you notice, there was one shot that we shot for my cinematography thing out here, where we had a very, like the bulbs inside were very red, but outside was very blue. If you go back and look at that shot there, yeah, that's why.
Hey, what's up? What's up? It's so nice of you. Come here, buddy. Come here. Yeah. Get the fuck out. Yeah, see ya.
You don't generally notice because our eyes adjust to it, and if film has to match so that we don't draw attention to that fact. But anyway, I think that's just about it for Package Central for the moment. So I'm going to move on to something else. Another thing that I'm randomly trying over here is that this is a bag that is filled with keyboard keys and hydrogen peroxide. Now, this is a weaker thing than what they recommend to do this with. And by this, I mean de-yellow the keys, because I'm kind of trying to do that. And I have hydrogen peroxide in there, and I'm trying to de-yellow my keys so that they're not as yellow. And I'll report back later on today, and we'll see how well it works on one of those old Del Quiet keys. It's just a little experiment, just to see how well it works, because de-yellowing plastics could actually be pretty fun. But I've seen a lot of things that are like, yeah, you need stronger stuff. So I might have to go try to find stronger stuff if I really want to do that eventually. But for the moment, I'm not going to bother. Now, for the rest of today, because, well, I need to work on things, essentially. I need to work on, like, wrapping up every single aspect of pre-production for Robert Cup tomorrow, because, or by tomorrow, because, well, we pull equipment tomorrow. And, need to be ready to rock and roll. So, I'm going to cut off here, and I'll be back probably later tonight to report on that. So, the results of today's keyboard experiment are a little lacking, but, yeah, they don't exactly look that much different. They look maybe a little bit brighter, but I think if I'm going to try this again, I need to really go the full route and get some more stronger stuff. Because as I think I mentioned this morning, it's really weak stuff. Now on to something else. I'll just no, I could just let you look at my face a little bit. So I think I mentioned this morning that LaserShip kind of screwed me, and Amazon has kind of helped me correct that, because I ordered a pair of headphones, was it Monday night? I think it was Monday night, and I selected 1-day shipping for Tuesday, which, I mean, the headphones are Sennheiser 518s, which is that today are running for $65. So, you know, 1-day shipping, which is $35 on Amazon if you're a Prime member, is, you know, that's way over the threshold. So, theoretically, it should have been here Tuesday. But Tuesday came and went without basically any word, because LaserShip still to this moment has not updated their shipping page with the tracking information. And Amazon, at like a little while after 9, so it's supposed to get here by 9 o'clock on Tuesday, it was like, your package is late. We don't really know anything about it, but it should get here maybe by Friday. It's like, well, okay, I have no idea what's happening. So yesterday came, and I sent LaserShip a message. I was like, hey, can you help me? And they're like, email us. Still have not heard back from them there. So I messaged Amazon on Twitter this morning, and they're like, yeah, okay, well, we'll try to contact the carrier. Just fill out this form. And they're like, okay, we have no idea what's happening. They responded 2 o'clock in the afternoon or so, and which, I mean, is a pretty quick turnaround. So they're like, yeah, we have no idea what just happened. We had no idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to send you a new pair of headphones for free, and you know what? If the other one shows up somehow, you can have it. So I was like, that's great. And, well, it's already here. These are my Sennheiser HD 518s. Amazon was incredibly nice. And this came from Amazon's own shipping provider, by the way, not LaserShip. The ironic thing, though, is that everything that came this morning earlier was, except for the WASD keyboard tester thing, was also from LaserShip. So they completely lost my package and are not owning up to it. However, I really just want to say thank you to Amazon because, well, I guess you don't get where Amazon is without being a pretty great company. So these are my Sennheiser 518s that really should have been here 2 days ago, but Amazon was great at trying to fix this problem, which wasn't even their fault, by the way, because LaserShip, unlike A1, is not their provider, because this came with via A1, which is Amazon's personal shipping provider. Now, one thing you've probably noticed by now is that the headphones themselves have this fat 1/4-inch plug. And if you want to set it down to an 1/8 inch, which is what's on most of your phones or iPods or whatever you have, you need to run it through that adapter, which is kind of the opposite way that a lot of my headphones work. Because if you look over here to where I was editing the vlogs earlier today, these are the shitty pair of headphones I've been using for the past while, which has your smaller 1/8 inch plug, but because I need to upgrade it to 1/4 inch, I have to go through this adapter. So we're actually going to switch to be going the other way. But realistically, first off, these 1/4 inch connectors are much, much stronger. But also, a lot of the audio equipment that we're using these days uses 1/4 inch, like all of the pro audio stuff uses these 1/4 inch connectors. My soundbox has one over here. My amplifier for my radio has one over here. The Nomad that we're using generally for most pro audio productions has one on it. Our headphone amps for booms have one. Because all of those things that if we needed to go through before, we needed an adapter for. And now I don't need one because those quarter-inch connectors, which are better and more stable, are just built straight into my headphones. That's one of the reasons why I picked this. Now, the one downside is that I did not get what I want in the fact that I was looking for a cable that I could actually switch out. But I'm going to settle for this, and I'm going to get back to working on the vlogs in a little bit so I actually can well, get a feel for them. And I'll report back to you, I'll say tomorrow, actually. I'll leave it off here. This has been a long vlog day as it is, so I'll actually give these a shot for a few days before I report back. We'll get back to you at some point. Anyway, see you guys tomorrow for, well, I guess the start of Robert Cobb, actually. Get ready.